Here are the photos I used to list and sell this old video game, Heroes 3 Complete. Heroes of Might and Magic. Showed a photo of the inside of it open. I believe I showed the rest of the insert, or maybe the back, I'm not sure. But I only put up 3 photos, and this is the price here, $199.95 that it sold for. I listed it for, I think, $275, but ended up dropping it. Higher priced sort of specialty items like this, almost always, basically always, put photos. You can put up to 6 photos, so take advantage of it for these types of items. From time to time, I like to post videos about big sales that I've made. I have posted a few videos in the past about some high-priced items that sold, and this is another one. This is one of my largest. I believe it's my second largest, and especially considering that I only paid $1 for this item, it is an incredible return on my investment. Now, here's the interesting thing, is I bought this in a thrift store in May of last year. So it took 16 months to sell. Now it sat there for 16 months accruing storage fees, which is next to nothing, probably less than 50 cents. I sent it in for probably 25, 30 cents at most, probably less considering that it is a CD. It's a video game, but it's on a CD in a CD case. All in, we're talking $1 to purchase the item, to source it, about a quarter, 30 cents probably at most to send it in. Storage fees are about penny to 2 pennies a month. So let's say 16 times 2, so 32 cents. So we're talking about at most rounding up to $2. And it sold for $199.95. And I'll show you a couple of videos here about what I was paid and whatnot. Here is the transaction page for this sale. Product details, total charge is $199.95, and the fees $43.88. Actually, it is about $33 in Amazon fees because the rest of it was the shipping. So it came out to $167.05 off of $1 that it was spent initially on the item at a thrift store. This sat for over a year. Actually, it sat for close to a year and a half, about 16 months, 15, 16 months. And it got storage fees, of course, which is next to nothing. Inbound shipping, so at most, not even $2, probably like $1.50, $1.75. It was definitely worth the wait, that's for sure. But this is one of those long tails that I love. You know, if I found 100 of these kind of long tails, I would keep them in my inventory for sure. It's a pretty phenomenal return on my $1 plus, and this is not something that is normal. I do not make these kind of large sales that often, which is why I like to share it with you guys through a video. If I was making these all the time, $200 sales, $150 sales, $300 sales off of $1 or $2 invested, then I wouldn't show it all the time, although I would probably talk about why I'm coming across those all the time. But these types of items take patience, take repricing, and sitting on it for a while. Now, even though the long-term storage fees are going to be coming into effect for single unit items, I would still keep this in stock because has a demand. It's slow, but a steady demand. And there's not very many copies out there. I think there were only 2 or 3 on the listing when I put mine up for sale. Here is the offer page for this video game. So currently it is ranked 49,287 in video games, which if you've sold video games, you probably know is pretty high. You kind of want to stay a little bit lower than that if you want to sell the video game pretty fast. But again, this is a slow seller because it is a much older game and there are not very many copies at all. There are currently only 1 copy, and it is in like new condition for $275. When I listed mine, There might have been 2 or 3 others, but not more than that. Now, when you look on Camel, you see that, you can look at the price history. This is for the past 1 year. And this is only for used copies. There's actually, I don't believe there's been any Amazon copies for a while. So if you look over the past 12 months, you can look down here at the bottom, and it'll show the lowest price was $54.99, and the highest was $275, where it is right now. So last year, almost a year ago, it was around 59 bucks, and it jumped way up to $244, then it dropped down here to about $100 for only a brief period of time, and then it jumped back up to $250, then it went down again, and now it's back up to $275. So you can see that it jumps around a bit, but it does stay above last year, above $55. That's a great item to sell. So now if we look at, this is the last year of the sales rank history of this item, and as you can see, aside from my sale, there hadn't been a sale since April of this year for whatever reason, but there was 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 sales in the last 12 months. So it does have a slow but steady demand. I don't know why there was such a big gap there. Maybe it was the pricing was too high. And then when I brought mine down to $199, someone finally came along to buy it. This is just an example of one of those long tail items that is worth keeping in stock, even though the new long-term storage fees are going to start applying in February of next year. Because this is a little CD, it's not a big item. It's a little CD case video game from 2001. So keeping it in storage for it to sell for this kind of money is definitely worth it. It's an example of one that I would buy again because it has a steady, slow demand. Especially, I only got it for $1, so it's worth it for it to sit. I initially priced it at $275 and ended up having to drop it a bit, but still was very happy with the sale. And I was pleasantly surprised when I came across it going through my sales for September. This plays into the whole idea of diversifying beyond books, which is my main category, but diving into other media items like video games, like CDs, like VHS tapes, like records, etc. It's good to diversify. And I don't usually look at video games very much, but when I come across ones like that are stuck in with the CDs, I'll definitely look them up because you never know what you're going to find. One of the fun things about this FBA business is you buy something like this, you source it, and you say, "Whoa, look at the potential profit I can make off of this item," and then it sits for so long you forget about it, and then it sells out of nowhere, and it's a huge bump to your earnings and to the theory of long tail, or the concept of long tail, which I think is still definitely in play for these larger priced items. When I sourced it, it was 74,000 rank. In video games, which is extremely high, that's an item that hardly sells. Video games, if you're getting under 10,000, then it's going to sell pretty frequently. But something that high is going to take a while to sell, which it did, but it was worth the wait. So I hope you're finding these types of items when you're out there. I know for sure, hearing from other people that have sold books and other types of items, that there are people that are definitely selling items for higher than this. But for me, this is awesome. It makes me want to find these long tails. So kind of a rule of thumb you could play by is you could have ranks set up for and dollar amounts for books and for other categories. For instance, you could say anything over $2 million, you have to have at least $25 listing price. For anything over $3 million, it has to be $35. For anything over $4 million, it has to be $40, $50, whatever it is. But there can be tiers that you set up, and it can be for different categories as well. You can do that for video games, you can do that for CDs, where I like to stay under 200,000 unless it's going for a lot of money. I kind of have those tiers in my mind. I haven't written it down specific numbers, but I have an idea of what I'm comfortable with, knowing how long something will take to sell based upon the last 2 years of doing this. That's the other thing. The longer you do this business, more deep understanding you have of sales rank and sales history and price, and how long realistically you think that item's going to sell, and is it really going to sell for that amount of money? Because even if it seems like it's going to sell for 25, is it really going to sell for that much? You're going to look at the price history and see if maybe this is just a spike out of nowhere, or is it consistently selling for that amount of money? This is a great sale, and I hope that it motivates some of you. I know it motivates me to continue to do this. I'm also going to talk in this video, share with you a little bit about jumping back into the VCR reselling game. This is called a 4-stack of VCRs and DVD players. If you've been watching my videos for a while, you know that I have dabbled in reselling VCRs and DVD players. And I decided to step back into that to diversify for the holidays and in general. I picked these up over the past 2 days, yesterday and today. Got 3 of them yesterday and 1 of them today. The one on the top is a DVD player that I've already sold before. So I already had the listing within my Seller Central account. And there's one going I'm selling for about 70 bucks. The other ones are closer to 100. We'll see if I can get that much for them, but based on the numbers for now, it looks like I can. We'll have to see. Most of them were between about 7, 8 bucks, and one of them I spent $15 on. Overall, it wasn't, they weren't too expensive to source. And I tested them all. They all worked. Cleaned them up, took pictures of them, listed them, wrapped them up, and now I'm going to put them in a box. Actually, one of them, the one on top, is going to one place, one warehouse, and the other 3 are going to another warehouse. I'm debating whether to just list a bunch of books that I found today or to just send these out. So I'm going to see. I have a box to fit the 3 big ones and a small one. I have a couple small boxes, so should work out well. Shouldn't be too expensive for the shipping. $16.47 for the 3 larger VCRs. They're going to Tennessee from California. And that breaks down to $5.49 each VCR for shipping, which is not too bad considering that most of them are being listed for close to $100. There's one that's not. But aside from that one, it's still going to make money. Even the one that I'm listing for $70, still going to make good profit. Even though these are big items, and even though I had to put them in a big box, it still makes sense financially. And it's not that much work. Here is the DVD player that I bought, and it is one item going in state. Only 2.7 pounds, billable weight 6 pounds, so it's $3.53 for the one item that I'm listing for close to $100. And I've sold this one before, this DVD player before. It's a small one, so it's in a smaller box. And that adds to the cost, but it's not very much. I bought it for, I believe, $7 or $8. And so it's about 10 bucks or so all in. And then, of course, storage. Once it sells, it'll still make a great profit. And I find those all the time at Goodwill. So, nonetheless, just showing that even though you have to send them in, ship them in, sometimes individually, and only a few together, it's still worth it. So here are the 2 boxes. The small box is the 1 DVD player, and the big box are the 3 VCRs. So it's a sizable box there. It's only 23 pounds though, and the other one's only just under 3 pounds. But nonetheless, these are the 4 VCR/DVD players. 2 of them have VCR and DVDs player in them. Picked these up at Goodwill over the last 2 days. So what is today? Wednesday. On Monday and Tuesday, and now Wednesday I'm sending them both out. That small one will be in the warehouse probably by tomorrow, and the other one will probably take till next week. But nonetheless, it's pretty inexpensive, pretty simple, guys. You just buy the VCRs, hook them up to your TV. Just have those auxiliary cables, yellow, red, and white, and just hook them up to the back of the players and check out if they work. And then just clean them up, list them, wrap them up in some bubble wrap, and stick them in a box. It's pretty simple. Of course, label them as well. I sourced 5 VCR. Some of them are able to play DVDs as well. There's a lot of stuff out there. I wanted to be able to go into a Goodwill and still make money. Even though I can't make money off of very many books, I can make money off of some CDs in there, and now I can look at their VCRs and some of their DVD players and see if those are worth flipping. So diversification is good, especially now when we're into Q4. Books are awesome, but diversify some more, you can make a lot more sales. I'm seeing a lot more CD sales for myself. The more I send in, the more I focus in on CDs. Every time I go out sourcing, I try to get at least a few CDs, at least 1, hopefully 5 or 10 or so I can continue to feed Amazon with CDs, knowing that CDs sell in general all year long, and they sell really great during the holidays. So this video game is just another tool, another way to diversify your income and diversify your sales. So good luck out there, and I'll be making another video, a few more videos about sales and also about September sales and that sort of thing coming up as I go back through how September went, which has been great. And also October has been doing really well for me as well. I hope it's going well for you. I'm repricing, which is helping continue to kick in the sales. And I'm continually sending in new items. I have a bunch of new books. I'm gonna make a video about Goodwill. I went to a Goodwill and found some great books. Keep on sourcing and hitting it hard for Q4. And as always, remember, keep booking.